We're recording now. Yeah, YouTube, we're recording now, and I had an intro right before I said we're recording, and I just lost it. My memory is getting hazy. I'm getting old. I apologize, YouTube. I really do. But welcome back to the PaoPao Cafe. I'm kidding. Now, welcome back, you guys. I had to do something. I never have an actual open. I just took the step out, but I never really have an opening. I tend to just go with what's in my head right then and there. But yeah, welcome back, you guys. We're back here again. Another SNK podcast. We got a lot to talk about. You already know who it is. I'm here with Boy Coded. We got Giuseppe Swag, Big Giuseppe Swag, and my man of the hour, Big Edo. You know what I'm saying? Homies. You already know the vibes. So, a lot of things has happened over the past weekend. Beta 2 happened finally for Fatal Fury. A lot of things have changed. Specifically, the one thing everyone complained about, which was the matchmaking. People were able to find games. We're going to talk about our experiences with that on top of the matchmaking, all that good stuff. And I'll open with my thoughts real quick and try to do them quick and dirty. Essentially, matchmaking was better. I think everyone can agree to that. The lobbies were about the same, just with the addition of the training mode thing. But it didn't work unless you had someone else to go in the training room with you, which was kind of odd. So they do need to fix that. The UI is still the same. It's not any better, to be honest.
It's bigger.
The UI is a little bit bigger, but the menus are still somewhat laggy. The in-game mouse pointer is still a little off. I mean, it's there. What else did they do? Really, it's just mostly, in my opinion, just getting games was really good. The online did feel a bit improved for the rollback. It did feel a bit better. Not that it was bad prior to, but you could tell going from, and I'm very sensitive on my rollback, just so you guys know, watch this on YouTube. So I did see that there was a big difference in between the last beta and this beta in terms of how rollback was handled. So you can expect them to update the rollback as they go along. It was finally good to have training mode.
Oh.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. Let's talk about actually being able to learn your character.
Yeah. Training mode was a big deal. Not being included in the first go around, which me personally, we all just played each other in lobbies the whole time. So I didn't have an issue with it, but I understand folks, especially that are new to SNK games in general, kind of feeling like thrown into the wolves, the pit, and to figure out their character while also fighting other people that understand how to fight with their characters and stuff. And it was like, okay, that's fair if you wanting to have training mode. So this time around having it, good job SNK. You heard everyone's complaints, so that's fire. Matchmaking was fixed.
Yeah, how was your experience about that?
So my personal experience, I want to say, what was it? The first day was, it took a little while to find a match, and then afterwards I was getting matches kind of consistently, and then like the next day and pretty much after that was like just back to back matches. So that was dope. Like, they actually got the matchmaking fixed. We don't need a website to tell you that it's fixed.
Oh my god. He had to throw the subtle jab in there.
He had to throw a good right hook.
I'm never let that
Throw a
go.
good right hook at him,
Netcode, for me, my experience, I didn't have any matches that were really, I didn't have any laggy matches really that, I didn't have any. I've spoke to some people like Luigi, he lives in Spain, and he had a different experience where for him matchmaking wasn't that great. It was kind of spotty for him as far as like the netcode and stuff, but I guess like region to region may differ or whatever. But as far as for me and what I saw here in NA, everyone pretty much agreed like matchmaking was way better, netcode was way better. Just the two things I was most worried about, they actually did it. SNK finally did it. Round of applause to SNK. They did it. All right, now we can move past this and get to the characters broken arc. We can finally get to that. Oh my god! Speaking of broken, T-Zoc.
Leave the Birdman alone, bro.
You saw what happened to me.
OTG grab like 4 times in a combo.
He just wanted a hug, bro. He just wanted a hug, man. Just a little scoop.
I'm gonna get back to that. Go ahead, talk about your experience.
You want to go or you?
I'll go. Personally, my experience, it was cool. Like I actually played more ranked and player matches this time instead of just going into the lobbies. Didn't really have any bad experiences. The changes they made to the characters kind of threw me off a little bit. Like with Preacher, I couldn't mash crouch C like I wanted to. That was my win check button. But it is what it is. She's still cool though. She combo routes changed, but she still felt like Preacher. It was nothing crazy. I know some other characters had some changes too. But overall, the game was cool. As long as my biggest thing was just the matchmaking. I know people had problems with that. As long as that part of the game is fixed, I was fine with everything else. I didn't really mind a lot of the other points people were bringing up, but I understand they were problems that had to be fixed. So yeah, my main thing was just the matchmaking. As long as they got that down, I'm cool. For me, the beta I think was pretty solid. T-Zoc though, I wish I had more time with T-Zoc because that character kind of goofy. That man's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. He just scooping boys every which way.
Doing for his fans.
Hilarious.
Doing for his fans. You know what I'm saying?
For my loyal fans.
Beta was fire. That's just my shit. Beta was fire for me.
Yep.
I guess I'll talk about my experience real quick. Beta overall, in my opinion, was really good. I would say on the first day, like Swag said earlier, matchmaking was definitely, it had some errors here and there. I know for me, I played a little bit of rank the first day, and for me to get a total of 20 matches the first day in rank, it took a good couple of hours. Yeah, for some reason for me it wasn't working until like the second day. And also, shouts out to SNK, they kept updating the beta over time during the weekend to improve matchmaking and some bug fixes. So big shouts out to them, round of applause for them for that as well. On the second day, matchmaking worked fine. I was getting matches left and right on rank, casual, and I was able to play a lot against randoms. Net code, on the other hand, for me, I think most of my experience in ranking casual, the net code, it was okay this time around. I had a lot of hiccups around the third day where I wasn't sure if it was people's PCs or if they were playing on the PS4 or where their Wi-Fi. But I had a lot of issues on the third day where it would just like go frame by frame and it would error disconnect me from the game. So I wasn't really sure, is that the server issue or is it their PC? Not sure. But yeah, beta was really good overall. Lobby still was the same, like Kenzo said earlier. Train mode is in the lobbies now, which is very good, but you have to have your opponent or your friend ready up with you. I think a change for us just letting us go into training mode without having someone go in with you, it would be nice. And as well as adding like a frame meter to training mode. I thought training mode was really good too. Training mode to me felt like it was KOF 15's, just a little bit more like touch up, having frame data there now, which is really good too. But I think all training mode needs, in my opinion, is just a frame meter like Street Fighter 6, and we all Gucci, you know what I'm saying? And the last thing I want to add on before I finish talking about my beta experience is they got rid of the CPU fights before you hop online. And usually in KOF 15, KOF 15, you had to fight 3 CPU battles that were really hard, and you have to, they go off your rank off of that. But now you get to select, your beginner, intermediate, expert, pro, and they put you in a certain rank level, and you have to climb your way up, which I figured that's like the smart way to do it. Most fighting games today are doing that route, to get people like set in which ranks they feel comfortable in, and just to climb up, get used to the game, etc., like that. So but overall the beta was really good in my opinion.
Okay.
Well, I mainly just played casual the whole time. Like majority of the time I was playing casuals. I messed around the rank, but I liked playing casuals because then I could just keep rematching people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because I think at one point I forget, I think it was a Hotaru, and we played. I was streaming it. We played for like 30 matches or more. Like we just kept I kept losing, but I started getting the hang of it because I was playing Vox, and eventually I started catching up to them. But we just kept rematching. I was like, I thought they were gonna eventually stop, but they kept rematching. I was like, all right, cool. We'll just keep running it till you endurance. One of us gonna stop, and then eventually we stopped. And then I just would do that each time I got an opponent. Like I did that at least like each match was like, or a set was like 10 matches at least.
Yeah. Good.
Like, or more, because to me that's more fun rather than me like queuing up for rank, do the couple matches, then go back to train mode, then go right back. Like even if it's fast, even like with Street Fighter, I still like just being able to hit rematch with the person and just keep playing and playing and playing.
Yeah, better way. Just keep learning the matchup.
Yeah, like it keeps going. But yeah, but both of those I had a good experience, all in all. So
yeah, I want to add this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. Hope SNK, if you're watching, please. There's only one flaw I had with this beta. Please fix the room code IDs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because we were all in TNS. We were all in TNS, and like, I'm telling you, trying to get our matches and bracket onto the next, try to play our pools. It was really hectic trying to tell people, okay, here's the room IDs. They type it in, it ain't working, bro. What's going on? I don't know. It's a bug. Hey, just send me yours. Like, I really hope they fix that or have a invite feature so we can just type the person's name and just invite them. I'm really hoping you guys take that feedback and fix it before the game releases. I think the game really needs a feature like that. But
to quickly elaborate on that, for those of you watching here on YouTube, essentially, like, I played in the online tournament. Edo played an online tournament. Did you play in the TNS on Sunday?
Yeah,
okay.
I did.
So, and I know Cody, you didn't play. You're big chilling, right? So, 3 of us were playing in the tournament. So, like, what we're saying is like, it's easier, like the Street Fighter, when you get like an invite to someone. It's just so much easier to get into the rooms and do what you need to do to play, get your matches done, and whatever. Even from a casual standpoint, if you want to play with friends, having the invite system does work, but you need them to be on your friends list. So if they could do that without them being on your friends list, that would be great. Because right now, like, the online system for lobbies is pretty good. It's, for all things considered, it's pretty good. Like, it's right there. It's just those small quality of life changes would make this a lot better. So that's just kind of fortify that right there for you guys. I do want to talk about balance, and I have a lot to say about balance. First off, every character from Beta 1 got nerfed. All of them, with the exception of Kane. I think Kane's the only one that didn't take any nerfs from what was said and what was found out. But everyone else, for the most part, got cooked. Some for the better, some for the worse. There was definitely a lot of complaining about lack of player expression and stuff like that when, like, you just had to spend 1 EX bar. Because I know there were a lot of people who were playing Rock who were not too happy about, like, the changes from Rage Run B, which is the run into the low, into combos and stuff like that. It's like, some of the links were kind of readjusted to, and they added more pushback to the light buttons into the heavies, which in my honest opinion is a lot more fair. A lot of characters, they didn't really, I don't want to say that they didn't need it, but it feels like SNK is trying to follow like a streamlined thing when it comes to the character lights, where you can do one light into a heavy, which is pretty standard across almost every SNK game, to be honest with you. From King of Fighters, you could never do like 2B, 5A, close C with like almost any character, right? And same with Fatal Fury. So I could see they try to like go from a Street Fighter style link system back to what they did before. So I was mostly okay with it, despite seeing a lot of groaning about it on socials. And of course, you guys know on my channel here, you guys see all this Hotaru play, so you know I was playing a lot of Hotaru. However, I did lab a lot of other characters, you know, Mai, etc. Like, essentially, like, the game's balance for the most part right now is looking really good. And if this is what it's going to be on launch, I'm cool with it. Minus T-Zoc, that character clearly needs to be adjusted. Like, I'm okay. And for the record, right, for someone who's probably watched this, like, man, that stuff with T-Zoc was cool. Okay, I'll give you one backdash SPD. If I was SNK, I'll let you get one. You can't get more than one OTG. Getting 3 and 4 is super egregious, and the damage output's already pretty high. I'll let you have it, but I scale it.
Cool when it happened to me.
Maybe SPD after the super might be a little too much. That might be a little crazy, but
that wasn't cool when that happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you, cause if I'm playing a tournament, you land 4 SPDs on me in the comment. Yeah, I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna look at you crazy. You know,
I would say if he can get like the elbow drop afterwards, all right, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with the elbow drop.
Yeah, that's fine, but I shouldn't get re-scooped.
Yeah, re-scoop.
Okay, listen. That's what I said. I'm just one.
No.
Just one and scaled.
I don't think he needs a period.
One and scaled.
And on the ground.
One and scaled.
I don't think he needs a period.
Elbow drop and that's it.
Okay, you guys see.
Let him do the TK SPD, bro. It's fine.
Just one,
and then
that's it. One and that's it.
If you do it after a combo, you get the Street Fighter 6 pushback. He full screen now. He gotta come back in.
Okay, Kensou, did you go against a T-Zoc and had that happen to you?
No.
Coded, did you go against a T-Zoc and had that happen to you? Oh, crazy. You know, not only my first ring game, it was against Justin Wong, and he was playing T-Zoc, and he did that to me.
I mean,
fight back?
Yeah.
Question mark?
I mean, don't get hit.
I fought nothing but T-Zocs on the first day, so.
All right. Fine.
Like keep it in the game, SNK. Keep it in the game.
Well, no. Not the 4. Just one. Just one. All right. All I'm saying is YouTube is just one SPD, one OTG SPD. That's all he gets. Just one.
Well, they really hit me with me personally.
I don't even play him. I just want the people who play T-Zoc to keep playing him. I'm a Hotaru main.
I want to play him too, but I don't want
to play him too. But I want. I want them to find other ways to getting damage besides that.
I feel like I feel like this is just a bias against grapplers.
We are pushing the agenda.
People know me. I don't like.
I don't know, man. Because both of you, Edo don't like grapplers. And
I despise.
Steph don't like people next to him. Period. In fighting games, so. The grapplers is your antithesis. You just don't want them to be good.
I have no problem with them. I don't like the fact that if I'm laying on the ground flat, that you just pull me up again.
Doesn't he get Oki real up close to you after that?
Don't geese do the same thing?
Look. You gotta understand.
Here we go. Changing the goalpost.
I don't like Geef either. I was complaining about Geef too.
I said Geese, not Geef.
Oh, Geef. Oh, Geef.
When you laying on the ground, don't he... stand up.
But
he's not wrong, actually.
That's Geese, though. But that's Geese.
But that's
Geese. Let me ask you a question. When Geese does that, what's the animation he's doing?
He pick you up. What you mean?
But describe it.
Oh, he pick you up off the ground. You mad cause why we being this like do it matter though?
He like does it. Am I not getting warped in time and space into a ground? I blink and he throwing me in the air and leaving me there. Is that not what's happening?
Listen,
man.
I'm just
apples
saying.
And oranges at this point. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, move on to the next topic.
I don't know what you want. But nah, like okay, minus T-Sock. I think the balance was okay.
I need y'all to have my back. Have me and Edo's back because you see what these two people up here saying that ain't for him.
Okay,
are you guys trying to go
players in the comments? They gonna stand right with us. What do you
are you guys trying to go? Are you guys trying to go through the 4 OTG grabs into Oki? You know? Are you guys trying to go through it? Please let us know in the comments.
Please.
I'm sure you guys don't want to go through that. You know.
You know what? This would be a great time for a comment war. So you guys go ahead in the comment section. Take a moment to pause the video right here and get in there. We will definitely be responding to this. Trust, we will.
I'm definitely gonna be in the comment section.
But I would say all right. I said it on here. You guys that are watching it on YouTube. I did say it on. I had the coffee talk I did this past week, earlier this week, where I talked about balance and some of the characters. So I'll say it here as well. I think just for my little tier list, you guys don't have to chime in on a tier list or whatever. Agree and disagree, it doesn't really matter as much. But just my personal opinion, just to add it, throw it in here. I think Hotaru was number 1. I got everything.
Yeah.
Hotaru's clearly, in my opinion, she was number 1. I think it was Hotaru. Due to tournament results, Hotaru, Kane, Rock, Terry
Yeah.
had like the best results overall for the weekend. Granted, Hotaru preaches well, but Hotaru didn't win. I think Punk won. I think he won FlyQuest, I want to say. By the way, no.
Second and third
Second?
for FlyQuest and TNS.
CNS. Okay. So Hotaru boys are still up. Shout outs. But we may not have taken a first place position. However, she placed in top 8 consistently throughout the weekend or throughout the beta time, with Rock, Kane, and Terry having obviously the highest overall placements. But I think from a balance standpoint, Hotaru just has everything. So I think now it's time for the thing that I've been waiting to do this whole time, and I have to do it because it wouldn't be me if I didn't do it. I know I'm probably going to spark a flame with this one, and quite frankly, I don't care. But I have to speak on Vox. I have to. There was too much flame surrounding Vox, and that led me to believe there were a lot of people that wanted to play Vox. So you had a lot of high-level players, quote-unquote, saying Vox sucks, Vox can't do this, and Vox can't do that. Then there's other people changing the goalpost saying, well, Vox is kind of good, but he sucks in comparison to insert something here. Let me just say, for the record, I felt like Vox is Hotaru light. Clearly, Hotaru's still Hotaru, obviously, but they have, roughly speaking, the same kit. DP, Fireball, Blast Fireball, Command Grab. But the biggest thing to me was the Command Grab, because it's a quarter circle forward input. It's not a 360. It's not half circle back forward like Rock. It is a Fireball input, meaning his Just Defend and Hyper Defend defense is extremely good. So if you try to melee him with like a melee attack, he'll Just Defend into Command Grab into either side swap with you or corner carry you. Like, the character has options, and I just think a lot of people were doubting him because he lost some links, which, like I said before, a lot of people lost those too. But my personal opinion, like if I had to put him on a tier list, I do think he's somewhere in A. You could say low A, you could say high A, but like of the current roster, I feel like there's nothing weaker than like a B plus character. Like, cause B just means you're just dead ass in the center. You don't really got nothing great about you. Just kind of just you're just standard, solid. That's it.
Yeah, middle of the road.
But B plus means you have more options. And as long as the Just Defense system is in place, and the Just Defend and Guard Cancel system, right? Or we'll just say the defense systems, because Hyper Defense, Just Defense, and Guard Cancel, all three of those in conjunction make Vox and every other character good. But I feel personally like Hotaru's kind of like, of the build currently, she's one of the gold standard characters for like having everything. So yeah, he's there. And my other controversial opinion, Mai was better than what people gave her credit for since Beta 1. She can...
Not everybody has a training mode.
Yeah. And it's funny, because the opinions of Mai changed once training mode hit. They're like, oh, Mai sucks because she can't do it. And it's like, training mode hit, oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Mai's actually kind of good. And it's like, she was always good. But it's okay. Don't take it the wrong way, YouTube. It's just, when training mode hit, I did a whole lot of labbing with the roster. I obviously play Hotaru primarily, but I love Mai as well. I intended to play Mai too, but got on Dong Juan. But anyway, I did a lot of lab work between the rosters, seeing how characters can get around pressure and things like that. And like, I felt like anything that Hotaru could do in terms of defense, Vox could do it as well. A lot of other characters could do it, but it's done differently. So like, I'm very interested in seeing how the game evolves past this current thought process I have with the current roster, and I'm pretty sure this game's gonna look extremely I don't want to say defensive, but I think that there will be a lot of different playstyles that can be utilized here with a lot of the cast. And I do think the game rewards you for being a specialist, because your rewards for hyper defense and just defense vary from character to character unless they have similar kits. So that's why I said like Hotaru and Vox to me are somewhat similar in terms of their defensive options. So it's gonna make for a very interesting game. Like I said before, I know that these opinions about characters might throw some people off, but like, trust me, I'm keeping a watchful eye on this game. And when the training room hits on launch, if my theories are correct, It's gonna be a wild ride on launch.
I wanna add on more to what you're saying. Like, I understand a lot of people are kind of doom and gloom about like Terry, Vox, and stuff like that, but it's like people have to understand it is a beta, and like everyone's learning. So like,
Yeah.
all of us are trying to figure out what to do with the characters, mechanics. Hell, me included. Like I was like, okay, Farsi from my real bout, cool, but like I don't feel comfortable with her in this game like that, you know? So it's like a lot of us are trying to feel comfortable with the game, our characters, and stuff like that. So it's just going to take time. And I also want to add in this as well. You know, I know you brought up Hotaru, Mai, Vox being like very strong as well. You know who also said that? Score. Said that in a tweet. You know, he felt like Hotaru and Kane were like the strongest in the beta because I've watched him. He was labbing a lot over the weekend, but he felt like Hotaru and Kane were the strongest. He felt like Mai is very strong as well with Vox, and he thinks Vox can definitely do it in this game.
So there you have it, you guys. For those of you that don't know who Score is, he's a very strong SNK player from Japan.
Yeah.
And he was in the Evo exhibition, so you can go check that out. He was playing Vox as well over there.
Yep.
So yeah, it's there's a lot to be seen. It's just the Just Defend and Hyper Defend system just really, it changes how you play this game. It changes how you look at defense and offense. And just for what it's worth, I'm gonna be technical here for a second. I'm gonna be the technical guy just for a second, and I'm gonna shut up. But Hyper Defense and Just Defense basically turns the game into your defense is what you want it to be, right? For those of you watching, right? Like, so instead of it being like you're locked into a generic guard cancel, like in say Dragon Ball FighterZ, Street Fighter 6, where you're locked into just that animation and you don't really have control over it. So in Street Fighter 6, you know, I play Kimberly and Mai right now, right? When I guard cancel with Kimberly, her guard cancel's not very good. It has poop range. It's just not that good, right? Mai's is okay, but just like Kimberly, it also lacks range. In this regard, when you have hyper defend, you got to remember you have zero frame and guard cancels. So you can guard cancel zero frame into a super, which is a scaled super, but it turns like a safe jump into like a non-factor. Same thing with your guard cancel command grab, dragon punch, 360, you know, Mai Ruenbu, just Terry power dunk, rock elbow. It just, the game changes on defense when you understand where to place these things. And yes, I'll have videos for them down the road when the game comes out, but just try to think about how your character can utilize that in situations, and it changes how your opponent has to approach you and how you approach defense, because they can't just be like generic offense into EX into EX into EX. You can interrupt that, and that's a big that was a big change for this patch, or this build of the game, or this beta, where like they had more gaps. So Terry, for example, did EX crack burn knuckle into crack shot. It was gapless in beta 1. In beta 2, there's a gap now.
Yep.
From yeah, definitely. That was really annoying.
That was the first thing I tested.
Yeah, I think that was the first thing we all tested, because
yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I can't.
PTSD from last beta. Oh man, yeah.
I was like, I can't HD this.
Nope.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not real.
Yeah.
So the beauty part of this gap in comparison to last beta, just so you guys can kind of follow along why I'm explaining this, is because last beta it was a absolute guard string, which means when you release your hands off the directionals, your characters are stuck blocking. So the only way to beat that is to hyper defend, because it opens up a gap and you can guard cancel through the hyper defend and do what you need to do to punish Terry. Now they added a bigger gap, and that he's not the only character. Across the entire cast, when I tested this, everyone has gaps now from their EX move to EX move, to kind of make it a bit easier for you to make a choice on whether or not you want to try to reversal here with a super or a dragon punch, or whatever your reversal option is, or counter, or try to guard cancel. So it gives you both. So you have the option to punish the gap, or I'm not sure, so let me try to hyper defend. Okay, that's not a hyper defend. Okay, no, that's a just defend because there's a bigger gap. Okay, cool. So it makes more of an easier tell to what has gaps and what doesn't. So it makes defense a bit more easier, and it's not just I have to HD or I have to just defend to try to get away from this. So
yeah. And also, you also have hyper defend, just defend. You also have rev guard. In certain situations that you feel like you're not comfortable trying to time just defend or hyper defend in certain strings or pressure, you got rev guard to try to get them away. So it's like you're not out of options. You got a lot of defensive mechanics in this game. On top of if you have your XPG gauge in the beginning or middle, say if your health is in the middle or end, you got SPG. You got I'm so used to calling it top, but I'm getting used to calling it SPG. Rev blow. You got rev blow, fully armored. Try to get them off of you. Like you have a lot of options in this game to stop stuff like that. So,
which I'm glad you said that because sorry guys, I'm not getting technical here for the cast, but hear me out, you guys. I didn't watch it. Hear me out. I'm gonna turn I'm gonna hang my lab coat up after this, but like the other part of it is too. I'm glad he mentioned SPG because if you're an SPG and you don't want to execute the guard cancel, you can just press your rev blow, and that covers the same thing that you would do with your special moves. Although for a period of time, based on where your SPG is, it still helps lower the execution barrier, where you don't have to think about, man, I gotta like say you're playing T-Zog, okay, I have to 360 to punish, when you can just go boom, I'll just tap the rev blow and okay, it may knock them away, but it's better than having to execute and have to deal with.
Get them off.
And like, hey, you might be out the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you ain't trying to find your way out the corner. Just tap that.
All right. So my lab coat's off. I'm taking the goggles off. I'm putting the beakers away. My lab coat's put away. I'm done with that now. But generally speaking, I think the balance is going to end up being okay in the long haul. Hopefully they keep it up. Anyone else? Anything else on balance? Any characters you felt was other than T-Zog?
No, I didn't have any issues with characters. I thought, well, like, oh, this character needs to be nerfed or anything.
No, I didn't have an issue.
What about
it's just a beta, bro. Everything about the characters is like half of this stuff not even going to probably matter in like a couple weeks once the game drops. Worrying about who top tier now or whatever, it don't matter.
Yeah, like it's the pre-release. Like it's not even. It's not
you
even
got the full roster out. You talking about what 8 characters? Yeah, top tier and 8 characters.
Tier list already. It's like, bro, we ain't got the full roster.
Get over
yet.
it. I just move on.
You talking about tier list in like day 2 of the beta? Like, what we doing? Like,
you
see all these mechanics?
That I admit was definitely a little out of pocket, and I think that's what for those of you watching on YouTube, I can only imagine for some of you guys it does get a little obnoxious that like day 2 beta came out Thursday, Friday night tier list. Like, what are we doing? Like, already? Not even 24 hours we're on tier list? Like
the new norm. Yeah, like
yeah, it definitely is a new norm. But with that, we'll move into the real controversial stuff. That is our guest characters. All right.
Ooh,
okay. Ooh. So just for the record, we know obviously Ronaldo. We already know about Ronaldo. And today Salvatore Ganacci just got announced. I haven't made a reaction to it yet because I looked at him and I was like, okay. But I do have words for Ronaldo, so we'll start with Ronaldo and we'll move to Salvatore.
Okay.
So Ronaldo, from my experience, I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool, and I said in my reaction, like, we haven't really had like a soccer character or any real sports characters that get represented outside of boxers and like MMA. So to me, it's kind of like, it's cool. He's kind of reparations for the sports team not being in KOF. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all right, look.
There it is.
I just got to change. I'm not finna fucking bullshit. Listen, when Ronaldo was revealed, was some people upset about it and wasn't messing with it? Sure, but for the most part, generally everyone that reacted to it for the most part was like, their emotions were from like, oh, this is cool to hyped, right? Cool. with Salvatore, the reason a lot of people are upset because now it's like, okay, before with SNK, let you pass, cool, you understand, you making a deal, got some money trying to move some units, cool. Now you put this dude, which by the way, I think he looks cool in the game and stuff, right? And a lot of the movement and things he was doing are references to what he do at his concerts and music videos. Don't attack me for that, because you and your fifis, just leave me alone. But what I am gonna say though is that I'm split, because if he's in the roster but he's just an add-on, like let's say him and Ronaldo aren't taking up a space on the roster like the base roster, and they're still gonna give us other Fatal Fury characters to round out the last 3 or 2 or whatever, right? And they're just add-ons, right? They're just giving us those. Cool. I have no problem with that. How you feel about them is how you feel. That's great. Tell somebody who cares. I don't. But now if they do take a spot, now you and me got the same problem, because now I'm like, okay, I'm a little perturbed about that. I'm like, I wish y'all hadn't done that. It's not enough for me to want to boycott. It's not enough for me to want to talk out the side of my neck at a dev. Yeah, I'm not doing that. It ain't that deep. Yeah. But I do understand the frustration or the annoyance of it. So again, I understand that. I don't like it if it is the case that he's taking up an actual spot on the base roster. Like I think we have like 2 characters left, 3 characters left. That was after Kane, 1.
Yeah, after Kane, 2? Yeah, it was 3.
3, right?
I think these is the 2. So I guess now we only
we got 1 more character left.
Right. So if that's the case, I'm like, I'm not a fan of that, but I understand why, and I know people don't like when I say this, and I know they kind of roll their eyes, but they trying to look beyond just FGC. And the reason for us it seems so loud about it is because we're in the thick of it. We're in the scene. So when you expand the scope and you really go, okay, let's look at why they did it. What have they been doing advertisement wise? Where they got the thing with the major boxing thing they're doing. For those that don't know, they're doing something with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is the biggest wrestling promotion in Japan, like the most illustrious one, next to like Noah and DDT. They have like one of their top guys that's going to be dressing up as Terry at this Sakura event tournament, and among other things. And then the DJ stuff is like they're reaching into different avenues and scenes and mediums to reach a global audience that's beyond just the FGC. Now when I say that, keep in mind, I am not saying I am okay or condone or trying to dismiss anyone's feelings about Salvatore, right? Or even Ronaldo being in the game. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying, remove your feelings for 2 seconds out the way and just be like, okay, I at least see why they're doing it. You ain't gotta like it. I'm not saying I like it either, as far as Salvatore. Ronaldo, I was like, whatever. This, I'm like, now we're kind of pushing it. So, like I said in my reaction, you want to have your complaints and stuff, leave your comments, go on Twitter, do what you gotta do. Don't get crazy though. don't talk out. Don't start talking crazy and getting brave behind the keyboard. Y'all already know, because you know how people are. If you're talking crazy at people, don't do that. But just let SK know, like, hey, we not messing with this. We're not jacking this. Let this be the last thing y'all do like this, right? After this, let's move forward. Give us characters from the franchise and SNK and whatever, fighting in characters, yada yada. But yeah, all in all, I'm just hoping that these 2 don't take up the spots of the last base roster stuff. If they do, that's unfortunate. It is what it is. But if they don't, then cool. I don't care. If they don't take up the last spots, I don't care. I personally don't care. I'm indifferent. But if they do take up spots, then I'm like, well, it sucks.
I think how I feel about it is I'm not gonna lie, I am still kind of like blown back and shocked from earlier today about it. But Ronaldo stuff, cool.
Pretty much.
The Ronaldo stuff, I'm still cool with that. Obviously, because that was like teased from like last year or like August, and like now that he's a playable character, I find it really freaking cool. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, I think it's really cool. And like Kenzo said, didn't really have like a soccer or football character in Fatal Fury, and we have that, and it's him. So I think that's a really cool way to introduce something like that into this game. For Salvador, I'll just be honest. When I first saw the announcement, I'm not like everybody else, like, oh, bump this game, blah 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 blah, But it was more of like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure if you saw my reaction, I was lost for words, honestly, because I'm just like, I don't know how to truly feel or to say about this. We've been on that SNK is doing the collaboration with the 11 DJs, having 19 tracks for the game and all of that. That's cool. I was not expecting one of the DJs to be in the game.
Yeah.
So
caught us off guard.
Yeah, that caught all of us off guard. On top of that, I know SNK also tweeted out about like, Duck King ran into our friend and like, be on the lookout for that, So like part of me was thinking, all right, it's the original new character in Fatal Fury, like, who happens to be a DJ as well. I was thinking that as well. But it was him. My whole thoughts on Salvador, it's still like, whatever. I wish he didn't take a slot in the roster, but I get it. SMK is trying to bring a lot of people to the game, expand the audience. I'm totally fine with that. I'm still lost for words, honestly. For the people who are upset, I understand. Like Swag said, I understand as well, because I've seen some of your guys, your comments. I've also responded to some of them. We all want more legacy characters: Duck King, Rick Shroud, Lee Shen-Fei. We want all of these characters to make a return. Trust, I'm with you guys. I'm pretty sure probably later on in future seasons, so I'm hoping. But if Salvador Ronaldo takes slot 15, 16 of the roster, of course I'm gonna be bummed out and be upset, but like not as bad. But I just think that it's overall cool that we're getting collaborations like that. So I'm upset, but at the same time, I see on the bigger scale of this is pretty cool because it gets more people into the game, people who care about these things, I do have words for the people on Twitter who are overreacting like crazy, but I'm just gonna keep that to myself. But overall, it's cool, I guess.
To be honest, when it comes to Ronaldo, I think the outcry for him was kind of weird to me, because when we first found out that he was going to be a part of the game in some way, it was nothing like, everybody was hyped. From what I remember, everybody was hyped he was going to be a part of it in some way. We didn't know what it was. I initially thought he was just going to be like an NPC or a system voice, but from what I was reading, majority of people thought he was going to be a character anyways. So I'm not really sure why people are surprised that he is an actual character now. I think it's pretty cool. Obviously there's some other stuff people bring it up now, but I'm like, y'all wasn't talking about that back then, and this is something that's been out, so I don't know why you bring it up now. It is what it is. I don't know. Ronaldo, I think is cool. He looks cool. He does the whole, he does the thing he needs to do. He's gonna bring people in. Like, I know people was talking about, y'all think I show Speed go care about this? He is. I think they already Speed? Confirmed he's gonna be playing the game.
He's already playing with KSI.
And it don't matter if it's for a day or a couple hours. I don't think people understand how many people watch Speed on the daily. That one day or that couple hours could do a lot for this game internationally. And Speed is already more than an international icon. He working with China and a whole bunch of other places. He was the prime minister of Peru for 24. Y'all gotta understand. Speed is a lot bigger than people think. Even if he look at this game for 10 minutes, it will do a lot for this game. So That's my thing on Ronaldo. Ronaldo's cool. I don't really care when it comes to What was the name?
Salvatore.
Salvatore.
Listen,
Salvatore Ganichi.
I would tell you right. I woke up this morning, or whatever, and I looked at my phone. I saw Gabatu tweet. I'm like, it's not April 1st anymore. Why they trolling me right now? I came on Discord and I saw the link to the trailer, and I'm stun locked looking at my screen like, what is that? I watched his gameplay. And he remind me of Waluigi. Everything he doing just giving me Waluigi vibes. He started swimming. I don't know if y'all ever play Mario Hoop 3-on-3.
Yeah.
When he started swimming, that was like, this is just Waluigi. What am I doing here?
I said, where have I seen this before? And I couldn't figure it out.
It's literally just Waluigi. And then I'm sitting here, I'm like,
You know what's crazy?
Wait, go ahead. Wow.
I just want to add to that real quick. You know what's crazy? He has a freaking float in the game. Yes.
I don't know what he doing, bro. I'm sitting here, I'm like, this could have just been Duck King if we wanted to do this.
Right.
And then my brain went to, okay, I don't know if y'all remember MK11. There's also a DJ playable in that game, but he's a skin for Sub-Zero. If they would have made him a skin for Duck King, I feel like this would have been pretty cool. This could have just been a Duck King skin, and then trailer drop. Oh, it's actually Duck King. You just got a Ganucci or whatever his last name is skin, and I'm like, that would have been dope. They could have did that, but it's just him, and Duck King is nowhere to be found. I'm like, the whole DJ thing. It would have been cool if they would have just had like a DJ stage and he's like in the back playing the music. That would have been dope too. They could have added him that way. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like if the last two slots are Ronaldo and Salvatore, that's kind of like, I understand why people would be upset with that. Like I'm kind of indifferent on it, but I understand like people would be upset if, which I'm pretty sure they are gonna end up taking those two slots. Now that I'm thinking about it, the game drops in a couple of weeks. Most likely those are part of the 3 finals, and then the last character we get, I don't know who is gonna be, but they'll most likely be like a returning Garo character, and at that point they'll just ship out the game, and anybody else you would want in the game is most likely going to be DLC. I'd rather them be in the base roster if they're going to be in the game at all, because nobody's going to want to pay for them at all. So I think they were smart in that way. If they were going to put them on the roster, they knew people weren't going to want to pay for them in the Season Pass 2 whenever that drops. So yeah, it's basically a promotional thing. That's all it's for. It's just to get the game out there to a wider audience. It's annoying, but it's something you got to deal with if you want this game to be on a bigger scale and you want more people to look at it from different places. So
that's what I was saying. That's the downside of this. This comes. This is what sucks talking about this, because no matter how you slice it, people are gonna look at us talking about it, or anyone talking about it really, and if you aren't immediately mad, if you're not immediately going haywire about it, oh, you must be sucking up to SK, or you must be kissing but you must be shilling, or you must be, it's like, I can be an adult and have a discussion about it and separate. And
I ain't got to throw a whole tantrum. You know what I'm saying?
I can acknowledge that I don't like this thing, but I see why thing was done. And when it comes to fighting games, for the longest time, like the discussion about, like, you know, grassroots and keeping it, you know, in the community. But KenSou, you've talked about, like, when you want these games to grow and get more funding, money for tournaments, necessities, this and third, suits are gonna get involved.
The suits got to get involved at some point.
Money from these from corporations, entities, you know, I ain't got any specifics, but if you want things to get better and things to grow, unless you got a couple million in the back, somebody gonna have to put the money up. And
someone
if they put the money up, like somebody gotta put the bread. So this is what we do. Like, and I think what makes it jarring is because with fighting games, it's not the same with like other genres like shooters or whatever other genres where they have advertisements like that. Hell, there's games where there's advertisements in the game, like as you're playing, there's advertisements for stuff, but they're so used to it, they don't think twice about it. The closest thing to that in a fighting game, Street Fighter 5 with the Uyu costumes,
with the whole Street Fighter Japan League, and
but even then, that was like that was soft in terms of like it was still like a fighting game related.
Fighting game related.
So people really didn't think twice about it. But if they wanted to advertise, let's say they advertise, like a DJ set or Chipotle or something, or start, then you get jarring. But that's just the thing when it comes with fighting games and trying to broaden the scope of advertising and reaching out to different groups. It's tricky, and I'm not gonna none of us is telling anyone watching or whoever is upset about this you can't feel upset about Salvatore being included. All we're saying is
there's a reason.
There's a reason, and look at why it's being done. I'm not saying you have to be okay with it. I'm not particularly cool with him being in the game. If he takes up a slot or whatever, I'm like, I really would prefer not. But it's more so of me and everyone else just kind of saying like, just.
It's a justifiable crash out.
It is definitely a reasonable crash out.
Like, look at the other
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like that's why I was like, I didn't want to say it is what it is, but they're like, it just is what it is.
It is what it is. Like you look at one side's perspective, while also you can look at it your own way, right? Yeah. But it's like you can talk about your feelings about it. I'm just gonna be real. Just be a freaking adult about it. Let's just be honest. Like, just be an actual adult and express your feelings, not be whiny about it. But yeah. I think like looking at like the collaborations, the character reveals and stuff like that. And I said earlier in my tweet where I think it's better that SNK does this now with having Ronaldo, Salvatore, I almost forgot his name, Salvatore, Ronaldo, and even Kennen and Chun-Li, because since their season pass and it's gonna be free if you pre-order the game, those are 4 guest characters in this game. Now, I understand a lot of people feel some type of way about guest characters, but it's like technically not paying for 2 of them season pass. The other 2 might be base roster. So it's like, it's better if they just get these out the way now. So if they do plan on bringing the legacy characters in that we're all waiting for, we get the good stuff looking forward to in the future now. You know what I'm saying? After season 1. So it's like, all that stuff is out the way, because I feel like if Ronaldo and Salvatore were DLC, it would have been the same reactions regardless, in my opinion, but probably worse. So it's like,
it would have been worse.
It would have been worse.
Yeah, so it's like, it would be worse. It would be worse. It'd be way worse. I think it'd be way worse.
I think
so. Like, yeah.
For me, I talked about Ronaldo. I'll talk about Salvatore. So I watched the little Twitter clip and I was like, okay. My expression is the exact same you guys just saw here on this video. Okay. Like, I don't feel anything, which is why I haven't made a reaction. So like, I normally like to make reactions when I really like something. And since I'm not going to pretend like I like this guy. I didn't even know who he was until they showed this, right? Do I care for him in Fatal Fury? No, not at all. I'm with Coded in the sense that if this was promo for Duck King and he's the DJ on Duck King's stage, I'm with that, right? To be upfront and honest. Him being a playable character, I'm indifferent because like I didn't ask for this, but I'm also not against it either. Like he's another inclusion into the game, and I do like the idea of fighting games getting more notoriety. In some cases, it doesn't need to sacrifice a character. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think it should sacrifice a character that people really want to play. However, I also understand what him being in the game does for, like, let's say people in like the club scene or in the music scene or into that EDM or whatever, which I think is an EDM DJ. Like, they see an EDM DJ inside of a fighting game, and it's like, well, maybe I'll play because he's there. And it's the same for Ronaldo, right? And Code is 100% right. Speed on this game is like let's just be serious here. Like, that's probably Maximilian times like 50. You know what I mean? Like, speed on that game for like 10 minutes to an hour is gonna do way more numbers and bring way more eyes to it than any. To be real with you guys, more than any other FGC entity, and that includes Max. That's not a knock to Max. It's not. Max does his thing, right? So I don't want anyone to watch it and be like, look, Max Kensu said no. I'm just saying the weight of IShowSpeed and the weight of Maximilian is not comparable. Because Max is still within, like, you could say like the general gaming space, but then also he's still primarily like, people still view him as primarily like the fighting game guy. Whereas IShowSpeed is just, he is a pop culture phenomenon. And as a pop culture phenomenon, as a content creator, you know, he's all over the place. So he's going to help alongside. So what I'm trying to say is, even though he is bigger and will be able to showcase more, it just helps propel things. It helps propel us. We get to talk about it now that he's playing it. Max can talk about it. Everyone can talk about it, and it helps propel the game. And he is a big fan of Ronaldo. Like, let's not get it twisted. He is 100% a big fan of Ronaldo. So, regardless of Salvatore, Ronaldo is still, if you're honest, I think Ronaldo is still the biggest thing here. To reiterate and keep it short and sweet, I agree. And I said this earlier before we got on the cast that, like, and Edo said it, if these two were DLC, people will be like 3 million and 2% more pissed. Because, like, you could have slapped in The King, you could have slapped in Bob Wilson, you could have slapped in Geese, you could have slapped in Tung Fu Ru. Fuck, it doesn't matter. You could pick a character from Fatal Fury, or even an SNK character, and you could have picked anyone, right? You could have picked, hey, why don't you give me Hanzo from World Heroes? Sorry, I'm just going completely left field. Or why don't you give me Kim from freaking Kizuna Encounter? That would have been a better crossover, and people would have loved that. They would have ate that up. That doesn't mean it's not impossible, but I could see how, like, you see these two and it's like, but your library. And I want you guys to know that there isn't a single one of the content creators sitting here on this video that are not with the people in regards to wanting what we want for the games, right? Especially when it comes to characters, because there's a lot of beloved characters within the SNK universe. It's just, the unfortunate part is we gotta sacrifice them to have these guys help, you know, advertise the game to bigger and greater heights. And for what it's worth, we haven't had a Fatal Fury game since 1999. They kind of sort of have to come out swinging with this one and try their best to knock it out the park. We know full well Salvatore in particular is just like the biggest left field pick we could have ever have guessed for this game. But we got to take the bad with the good, because the reality is the game, if you separate them two, right, Fatal Fury is still right there. They're just two additions to Fatal Fury.
Yeah, and I like how you brought up, you know, as well, where, like, you know, we've all talked about it, you know, just now, where it's like he's taking over the EDM, you know, DJ, all of that space, and, you know, you get people who are into music, and they're like, I may recognize this dude, or like this artist, you know, or like I know I listened to some music of his. Oh, he's in this game? I'm gonna check it out. Like, you know, like I said, I've seen in my comment section today where some people are disappointed, upset, but I've also seen some other people who are like, I wasn't really looking into Fatal Fury, but like he looks cool. Or like I've seen one comment where it's like, I wasn't into Fatal Fury like that, but I love music. I love EDM. I love DJing. I love all of that. I'm going to check out this game. So you also have to understand, like, you have to look at the other perspectives of other people coming in, because a lot of people care about that stuff, like I was saying earlier. So it's like, collaboration just means a lot to people, you know, and I think that's a great thing that they're trying to do this for this game. Regardless of how we all feel about it, I think you have to look at the other side of it, you know, so, as well, you know.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, the thing, and the biggest part here is, like, let's just say Garou 3 is a thing after this game. If this was something that they deemed not helpful for the growth of the franchise and the IP for SNK, they probably won't do it again. So better they kind of take the risk now during this era of fighting games, and then when Garou 3 comes out, or Fatal Fury, whatever, Doggy of the Wolves, left shoe of the Wolves, I don't know, Hungry Wolf, not so hungry anymore edition drops, we can alleviate that. So I'd rather take the risk now, deal with it for now, and for better or worse, we either do it again we see this happen again or we don't. And maybe if it does happen again, it happens on a smaller scale, which again, Ronaldo being a background character, a system voice or something like that. Because I mean, it's not unheard of. Like they've gotten people. Just to kind of put this out here, they've gotten people from within the FGC to be a part of Street Fighter 6. SNK is taking it a step further because, to be real with you, there are hardly any real SNK faces, if you will. You can go Shanghai, you can go ET, you can go China, but like, it's one thing when it's truly international, like in Street Fighter 6, where you have American commentators, you have Japanese commentators. You know, and I'm sure they'll probably add more later at some point. But it's very cool to see people like, you know, I guess a Tasty Steve or one of the Japanese the Japanese commentators inside the game. It gives you that reassurance of they care about the community. But like, I think now they're just trying to get a bigger community outreach and like see what happens, because let's say for whatever reason Ronaldo comes on commentary, and let's say Ronaldo gets good at commentary, right, for the game, right? We now have an actual sports player doing commentary for a fighting game. That's unheard of. Or let's say we have an actual, I don't know, Mike Tyson, Holyfield, whoever those dudes are in the boxing match. Let's say they get one of those guys to come in and do actual commentary for it, or support the event, or do the announcing for it, or MC the event. All these things stack up and make the spectacle of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves a lot greater than just, oh, here's a new Fatal Fury. Like, the idea is to really make Fatal Fury more extravagant than what it is.
Like it's an event, like a big deal. Yeah.
And this is truly a celebration of the revival of the IP. It's one thing where it's KOF, where you're getting stuff consistently. Sam's Show got a really good revival for what it's worth, right? But this is the first flagship fighting game title for SNK. They got to go all out. They got to pull all the stops. Because you also got to remember, here's some other tidbits that you guys probably weren't thinking about that are watching this on YouTube. Just for the record, I say this all the time for you guys, but for those of you that are new watching, I have a marketing background. And if you know anything about marketing, market research is very important. With that being said, they've worked together with Capcom and they've probably shared strategies, because you have to remember Oda used to work there, right? In addition to that, it's like a direct / indirect Japanese developers also boxing with Riot low key, because you have to remember 2XKO is also still coming out, and they also have to make sure that their game can stay above water when that comes out. It also has to stay above water against other competitors as well. So they have to pull out all the stops. They can't just be like, here's Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. It's more than just that. Like, it was already monumental when you had Ken and Chun-Li. And now, for what it's worth, even if you pull Salvatore out, Ronaldo's still a pretty big deal, all in all. And then the boxing thing that they were doing as well. It's just a matter of time before we're seeing SNK logos at MMA fights, SNK logos in boxing rings, SNK logos, let's say, just throw it out there, the Olympics. That's like one of the best places you could possibly be as a sponsor for notoriety. So, yeah. and I mean, not to mention the Olympics were supposed to feature Street Fighter 5 and I think even 6 at some point. So, I mean, like, esports is being considered a thing for this kind of event. So you guys have to understand that, like, I understand maybe from the casual perspective, this is just kind of it may not matter to you, but history is being made low key with these IPs from Fatal Fury to Street Fighter. But in this case, as we're talking about Fatal Fury, this is something very monumental. And for what it's worth, and hopefully video incoming for this from me, but Fatal Fury 2 was truly the last time Fatal Fury was a true spectacle as a video game. Literally. The real bout games and stuff like that, while they were cool, they didn't make such an impact like Fatal Fury 2 did in the 90s. What was it, 2 animations, manga up the wazoo. It has the absolute most ports, like TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine, Genesis, Super Nintendo, Game Boy, freaking Game Gear. Fatal Fury 2 was all over the place. So much like how Capcom has been trying to recapture the pop culture phenomenon that was Street Fighter 2, they're doing the same thing here with this. So again, while we don't all agree, and not everyone's thinking about it from a marketing standpoint. Everyone's from a consumer standpoint. Me being on both sides of the spectrums, which I'm telling you guys watching this, sometimes I sometimes wish I was only on one side of the spectrum, but because that was my normal 9 to 5 job before the pandemic, and understanding market research and how trends work with people and things of that nature, this is what's, whether you like it or not, what's going to be necessary to move our fighting games forward, to get to a larger audience, to have more people playing it, to have more eyes on it, for it to be more than just, I mean, for what it's worth, look, Kakeru just took home $1 million to his wife for Street Fighter. There's no reason why Fatal Fury can't have that same kind of phenomenon, that same type of life-changing money, the same type of life-changing events for players that want to go to that next level. Or even if you don't want to go to that next level, you can feel confident in knowing, oh man, there's a boxing MMA match coming up with, I don't know, some people. Oh, it's sponsored by SNK. Oh, there's Fatal Fury. Oh, look, the Olympics are happening. Oh, there's Fatal Fury. NASCAR. Oh, SNK. Like, that's the kind of stuff it seems like SNK is trying to get into. So you have to understand where they're going with it. So, off my soapbox, I go. So,
pretty much that's I said it all. It ain't, again, we're not saying, these aren't reasonable crash outs. Hey, I'm right there with y'all, it's just, it sounds callous when I say it. That's the cost of doing business. I'm not, like, there's no nice way of putting it. Like, I'm really trying to sit here because I've thought of like 5 different ways to say it. I'm like, it's just gonna come off cold and just mean, but it's numbers. Like, I can't, I just want everyone to understand, like what Kensou said, like all the things that they may be trying to do, this and the third, and not even just SNK, but Capcom and other fighting games, just in general, to reach heights outside of just the FGC, because staying within just the FGC,
you're dooming the product.
It don't bring in the money that, for the things that we want and need. Just being within FGC ain't enough.
Yep.
It ain't enough. It is what it is. So you see League of Legends and you see these other games and you see how they got this many pot bonuses and events and big stadiums and this and the glamour, and then collabs with clothing brands and stuff, and they gotta start somewhere.
Shoot, man, Kiki Palmer, freaking True Damage, all the stuff they did with like KDA and True Damage groups in League of Legends. It's like, I get it, Kiki Palmer might not be a character in the game, but Kiki Palmer does have a somewhat of a skin in the game, because the way they redesigned Kiana, the Louis Vuitton collaboration that they did for the Louis Vuitton collab for League of Legends was like, who would have guessed Louis Vuitton and League of Legends? Who would have put that two together? Nobody. Yep. But it happened. And you could look at that and be like, well, I mean, who cares? But the skin that came for Senna and all the other characters within the Louis Vuitton line of skins for that time frame was like fire. And it made money. It helped funnel money towards Worlds. It helped fund, like, you got to understand, like, no else ways to put it. It's an ecosystem. It funds itself. You buy the game, you support the game, you buy the skins, you do all the stuff like that. It funds money to do other things. You get more characters. It adds more money for the esports pot. You get more characters. You get more updates. Not just updates from just colors. It could be just server updates. More collaborations that could happen. Like, there's no telling what other collabs. Yeah, and then funding for the next game. Or even like, okay, Fatal Fury is going to push this, and then some of the funds that come from Fatal Fury fund the new Samsho RPG. It funds the new Art of Fighting. It funds the new World Heroes. It funds Kizuna Encounter 3. Whatever. It just, you never know where it's going, because SNK has a lot of other projects they're being hush-hush about. So, and obviously we've already expressed interest in the new Samsho and Art of Fighting, obviously. So it's like, I as a fan want to see those things come to life. I understand the notion of like where you spend your money is important as a consumer, but as long as you're supporting the game, just the initial purchase does much more than you think. and your gradual support of the game monetarily, and if not monetarily, even if you're just watching the streams. If you're on, let's say SNK does their stream for SNK World Cup or whatever, and you're watching their ads that like they get, you're watching the stuff on the SNK content channels, they're getting revenue there too. So it isn't just you pouring money into DLC. Just so you guys understand that the pockets and facets in which you are distributing income, there's a lot of free avenues, and that's just part of marketing. Man, I am talking like I'm working in my regular 9 to 5. But hopefully you guys learned something, because literally, like, I try to give you guys pockets of these things, and Sep just said it. It's not to sound cold. It's just there's no other real way to put it.
That's the unfortunate part of business. There's not really a nice way to say things when it comes to that. Like,
yeah, you can't go any other nice way about it. You just gotta be, just being honest, being strictly honest with y'all. Like, it is what it is at this point.
and the good thing is they are base roster. I think that's the only saving grace, is they're just base roster. Any characters that you would have wanted to return from Garo, 9 times out of 10, if they don't make it base roster, they'll be DLC at some point. They're not going to leave those characters out. They're not going to do that. Any Fatal Fury character you could think of that is probably that you would have wanted, again, DLC is right there. Like, this isn't the end all be all for the roster. They'll be there eventually.
And then there's still the chance of them doing free characters, like with the updates, like what they did with KOF 15.
KOF 15.
We got Root, we got Gonitz. They could do stuff like that where they do an update or an event that we don't know. That's another thing. We don't know shit about Cedar Wolves.
Yeah.
Outside the mechanics and stuff. We don't know modes. We don't know what they got planned story wise. We don't know what events they got planned. We don't know about costumes. We don't know nothing about nothing. All we know is here's characters, here's game fight. That's all we know. We don't know. We don't even know nothing about the story yet. All we know is tidbits we get from character descriptions on their website. And even then, that's not enough. All it tells you is like, hey, this little thing happened, and they all are converging at KOF. That's
quick
it.
little paragraph. Quick little paragraph.
It's not enough to deduce whatever is narratively going to happen or what spectacular things or whatever they got planned. They've been real tight-lipped. So I say that to say I don't want people to get hyper-focused on just the characters, even though characters are obviously a major part of fighting games. But don't get... I don't care. Don't get so hyper-focused on the characters. Just take a deep breath, step back, and again, if you don't like it, cool. I'm not saying I like it either, but think about like, all right, let the game come out and then we see from there. All right, that's all.
Yeah. Like it's like I said earlier, like in my reaction, like the characters that we really want to see to come back. Yeah, it sucks that we have to wait after season 1, but it's like Swag said, what we're all saying, you never know what's yet to come, especially for this game, you know, especially where we've seen in interviews from last year, you know, they've been saying, you know, they have a lot of stuff planned, you know, so.
Hey man,
I don't know. We just have to wait and see.
We didn't even expect Mr. Big, so whatever.
Yeah, it's like I said again, we all feel you. We all feel the same way.
We do.
We all feel the same way. I'm pretty sure if you saw all of our reactions, we were just feeling kind of like, oh, okay. Like, we all feel the same way. So it's like, the end point of be all, what I'm trying to say as well, it's just, like I said, take it deep, bro. Let's just wait and see what happens. And then we go from there. You know what I'm saying? Let the game come out first.
Yeah.
That's it.
So,
other than that, we got what? 17 more days. I'm hyped. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
I'm ready to play again. I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely having PTSD. Like, or just straight up withdrawals. Like, I had so much fun playing beta. It's like, why can't the game just come out tomorrow? You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm ready to play now. I'm definitely ready to play now.
Yeah.
So,
all in due time.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it?
Is that it?
Yeah, I think that's it, you guys. I don't know if we got anything else, because I definitely think Salvatore took a lot out. at least it took a lot. It took a lot
out of us.
It took a lot of y'all, more so than me. So
Yeah, I've been tired all day.
Yeah. Well, all right, you guys that are watching here on the tubes, you already know what it is. I'll have links to these cool cats in the description. You go check out their channels as well. You already know what it is. You know the vibes. Hope you guys enjoyed this new episode of the PaoPao Cafe. Hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Talk to us, and definitely talk to us about T-Zoc, please. I'm sure we're going.
I'm over here getting spun.
All y'all New Japan fans, y'all know where we stand. You don't even gotta. I know what you want. Okay, we know what you want with T-Zoc. We want the command grabs. We want the SPDs. We want the resets. I know what y'all. I've seen the matches. I've seen the pay-per-view. Y'all.
Stop playing with me.
These two is lying because they wrestling fans. They know they want it too. I don't even know why they boxing me right now, but it's crazy.
All right, man. Keep it in the game. Right. Keep it in the game.
Keep it in the game. I'm here for it.
Keep it in the game.
All right, you guys. Talk to the comments below about it. Talk to us. We gonna get up out of here. That was a pretty good one, Carter. I'm not gonna lie. But all right, y'all. Y'all take care. We'll catch you guys in the next cast. Y'all take care. Peace.